Oh. I like the glasses, man. I see you.
Good evening. We will now begin our regular board meeting for Wednesday, December 11th, 2024. Could we have roll call, please?
Commissioner Lloyd,
Present.
Commissioner Winfrey,
Here.
Commissioner Ellenberg,
Here.
Commissioner Brown, Commissioner Avery,
Here.
Commissioner Shoemaker,
Present.
Commissioner Kuzno,
Here.
Commissioner Wayhill, and Commissioner Davis.
Here.
Okay, thank you. I'll allow time here for just time for meditation, time for thoughts of those loved ones or anyone that wants to take a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Thank you. Next, we move to our Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all so much. We're going to take a quick deviation here for some special guests that we have here with us for recognition. We have a couple of schools here who are champions here in our community, and we'd like to pay homage to them. So our first would be, whereas the Genesee County Board of Commissioners is proud to recognize the Millington High School Cardinals varsity football team for their remarkable achievements in 2024 season. Coach, congratulations to you, Coach Germain. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much for the recognition. Thank you.
Okay,
We
you're
very much appreciate it.
And we'll have photos right after the presentation here, okay? Okay. And next we have from District 5, the District of Champions, we have, whereas the Goodrich High School Martians varsity football team, under the dynamic leadership of head coach Tom Allward, has exemplified exceptional grit, teamwork, and perseverance throughout the 2024 Michigan High School Football Association season. Congratulations, Goodrich Martians. Coach.
Thank you very much. It's a great honor. We're humbled. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just ask the coach for Millington.
Okay, Coach from Millington, would you like to come up, and board
Get some
members,
photos up here.
if you want to stand behind?
here.
You guys
Right down
wanna-
in front of the dais.
All right, okay. Sit down, stay down, okay.
I didn't know.
Already go in a little bit. You guys all come up here. All get up here and.
The whole team here?
No.
It looks like a whole.
We're gonna need to squeeze in as best we can. Everybody put up number one. All right, good. Thank you. Coach, can I get James, JT, Alan as well? Yeah. I'll do one of each.
All right, guys, we'll see you.
Yeah, I'll have three of you together and then.
Okay.
One, two. All right, James. Got it, and then Alan?
You need permission to do that. I said, that picture will be on your next campaign flyer.
Oh, man.
See you later.
Might be on his next campaign flyer.
Okay. We'll get a picture.
All right, here we go. One, two. All right, got it? James?
Want one separate?
Yep.
James?
Private comments. Oh, man.
Man, I forgot.
Thank you guys for your patience with that and great accomplishments from both schools. Okay, next we'll move on with our approval of meeting minutes.
So moved.
Okay,
Support.
we have move and support. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Next, we have an opportunity here for a public address. If we have someone in our audience who has a public address, yes, please come forward and state your name and city represented, and mic is yours.
Thank
Hello,
you.
Chair. Hello.
Well, I'm Deb Cherry. I'm the county treasurer.
Yes, yes.
I just wanted to take a few minutes before we actually get to the meeting, and I know I have an item on the agenda, but I wanted to say thank you very much. This is my last final meeting, and I wanted to say again, thank you for all of the great work that we've been able to do together. This board has been a great board to work with, and I've had others that were not that great, so it's really nice to have this opportunity to have been able to work with you. And I know what it's like to be a commissioner. As you all know, a long time ago, I sat in your seat, and I know how hard the job is that you're doing. I want to say thank you to Josh Freeman. He's been a great assistant to our office, too, along with all of the staff, and right now Derek Bradshaw, and I cannot not say thank you to Carla Vandepfeiffer, who has been the Chief Deputy Treasurer, and I would not have been successful without her and the work that all of the staff at the Treasurer's Office has done. So I just want to say thank you. I can't say I'm going to miss a lot of this, but I will miss all of you, and I'll miss the people that I've worked with, so thank you very much. And I don't want to leave without saying thank you also to Crystal, because it's been nice to have a fiscal officer that we can work with, and I've really appreciated that. So thank you.
Thank you, Madam Treasurer. Thank you so much. Okay. As you come forward, you state your name and city represented.
Yes, I'm John Billings. I live in First Ward, Flint, Michigan. I come to address House of Brain as DeRico is supposed to county represent that district. I'm surprised that you go along with what's the not wanting to change the administrative up there. For some fact, I have talked to you years ago about situations going on up there, and I wish you would go over some of the facts that we discussed and go along with changing the administrative up there, because the seniors are getting not what they deserve with the current administration up there. So I, as well as some of the other seniors, are wanting change up there for the better of the seniors. And Josh Freeman, when he was on the city council, I addressed issues that was going on up there. So I asked the commissioners to allow change up there with a different body and a different administrative staff. Maybe we could get treated fairly and go back to the way things was up there where we was getting treated. And I am one of the ones who've been up there over 30 years and seen the changes in and out. And so I would say that you allow change to go forward up there. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So we have another opportunity for public comments, going twice, and now public comments is now closed.
Mr. Chair,
Oh, I'm sorry.
couple things.
Commissioner Lloyd.
Through you, Mr. Chair, first to I was going to say Senator Cherry. And, because once you had a title, you maintain it. But, amongst so much change in the community, you've been one of those constants since even before I started in politics at 22 years old in 2008, right? And your brother, your sister-in-law, your nephew, your family in general has and continues to serve this community with such honor and dignity. And I just wanted to personally thank you for earlier in my time in politics, if you will, for a lot of conversations and encouragement as well as support over the years. And I'm hopeful that you have many, many more years of rest and enjoyment and relaxation because you certainly deserve it. Thank you. Through you, Mr. Chair, to Mr. Billings, who I've known a very long time, and awesome serving in the community so that he advocates for a number of amazing things in the community, and particularly Hasselbring Senior Center. I just want to be really clear for you, Mr. Billings, and the community as a whole. And I've had this conversation with the mayor. It was my understanding that you would be coming, and Mayor Neely. But what I'll say is that as far as Hasselbring, the operations of Hasselbring Center, the vendors that the city used to operate Hasselbring Senior Center, that's not something that we handle as a county. And even as a commissioner, my position remains that the city, the mayor, who's been engaging with you all on that issue, the city council, Flint City Council, who has a matter before them that's outstanding, that's a matter that we leave for you all to address. Who runs the center and what the operation hours are and those kinds of things. That's not something that I generally get into as a county commissioner because it's not our jurisdiction. So I just want to be very, very clear about that. I support whatever is good for the seniors there that you all support. But I also want to add some clarity about what our role is as county commissioners. Our role has to do with the senior millage dollars that are allocated for Hasselbring, as you know. And my position on that as commissioner is we want to make sure that Hasselbring remains open, that it's operating in a way that the seniors will be happy, however the city decides, and that the senior millage money that we allocate continues to be used at that physical location to provide services and recreation opportunity for the seniors. So I just wanted to be very, very clear who operates the center, the changes and those kinds of things, whatever the seniors desire. I desire as well senior millage money. We just want to make sure that it continues to be spent there for the seniors, and I believe that it will be. Thanks so much for coming.
Thank you, Commissioner Lloyd. Anyone else? Okay. All right, next we're going to move on to our communications, where we have emergency purchase of surgical lights for the surgical room at Genesee County Animal Control.
Yep, Mr. Chair, this document is on file for you. They followed the purchasing policy for an emergency purchase. They need lights to operate the emergency or the operating room, and we took care of it for them. So,
Thank you for the report. Okay, next we move on to our committees. There's no report from the Community and Economic Development for this week. So next we'll move on to the Finance Committee, where we have Martin Cousineau as chairperson, Dr. Beverly Brown as vice chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move Resolution 24-609, approval of a request to create, post, and fill one public information officer, Freedom of Information Act, FOIA, specialist at Genesee County Sheriff's Department. This request will eliminate one corrections deputy.
So moved.
Okay, support. Okay, all right.
He moved it. I
Okay,
support it.
yep. So any questions from anyone? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
I move Resolution 24-1364, approval of an amendment to number 2 of an agreement between Genesee County and LADS Genesee LLC in the amount not to exceed $63,981 to provide drug and alcohol testing services for Genesee County Sobriety Court. The cost of this agreement will be paid from the accounts listed.
Support.
Okay, we have move and support. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
I move Resolution 24-1365, approval of an agreement between Genesee County and Flint Odyssey House in the amount not to exceed $244,464 to provide substance abuse treatment services to the Genesee County Sobriety Court. The term of this agreement is from October 1, 24 through September 30, 2025. The cost of this agreement will be paid from the account numbers following.
Support.
Okay, it's been moved and supported. Any questions? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Move Resolution 24, I moved Resolution 24-1414, approval of a request to create, post, and fill one scene investigator position at Genesee County's medical examiner.
Support.
Okay, it's been moved and supported. Any questions? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
I move Resolution 24-1434, approval of a grant award from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration in the amount of $341,543 to provide for the continued removal of the Hamilton Dam.
Support.
This is grant.
Okay, that's great. It's been moved and supported. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Move Resolution 24-1437, approval of a request by Genesee County's Park and Recreation Commission to fill a maximum of 400 seasonal pooled positions in FYE 2025 with positions and wages rates taking effect January 1 of 25.
Support.
All right, it's been moved and supported. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Move Resolution 24-1461, approval of a creation of an additional executive director of the community engagement for the Office of Genesee County Sheriff.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
I move Resolution 24-1478, forwarding to receive and file a copy of the paid county bills for the weeks ending November 3rd, 2024 through November 17th, 2024, in the total amount of $17,742,221.81.
I think that's $212.
Well, if I misspoke, it's $17,742,212.81.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
I move Resolution 24-1482, approval of proposed budget amendment to the 24-2025 appropriations resolution for various line items as described in the attached budget adjustment.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
I move Resolution 24-1490, approval of a purchase order to Hospital Purchasing Services LLC for the fiscal year ending 2025 in an amount not to exceed $58,856.48 to provide for kitchen equipment at G-Card. The cost of this purchase order will be paid from the following account.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any questions? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
I move Resolution 24-1492, approval of a request to increase a purchase order to Gordon's Food Service, purchase order dash, but at a number, for the fiscal year ending 2025 in the amount of $27,894.50 for a revised total of $1,254,118.70 to provide for the purchase of food at G-Card.
Support.
Okay, it's been moved and supported. Any questions?
Can't hear you.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
I move Resolution 2024-1499, approval to create, post, and fill one public health nurse coordinator position at Genesee County's Health Department. This is fully grant funded.
Been moved and supported. Any questions? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Move Resolution 24-1504, approval of a change order to the agreement between Genesee County and Sentinel in the amount of $49,033.35 to provide for additional door and video access points in various county buildings. The cost of this change order will be paid from the account listed.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any questions? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Move Resolution 24-1516, approval of ARPA funding reallocation of $2,290,486.73 for prosecutor scanning, Fenton Township Land Bank, Clio Road demolition, and to continue funding of ARPA positions for court backlog.
Okay, it's been moved and supported. Any questions? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Move Resolution 24-1517, approval of a request to create, post, and fill 2 planning specialist positions at Genesee County's Metropolitan Planning Commission. With the approval of this request, 2 planner positions will be eliminated. This is a grant-funded request.
Support.
All right, it's been moved and supported. Any questions? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Mr. Chair, on this next resolution, I know we passed it in the committee. However, I've changed my mind, so I'm not going to move it as a motion. I'll just read it, and it will require somebody else to make a motion in support. Resolution 24-1524, approval of a request to create, post, and fill 1 constituent relations representative in the board office. This is a budgeted position.
I'll move it.
Yes, support.
I'll support it.
Okay. All right, we have movement, support. Any questions?
I do,
Commissioner Lloyd?
through you, Mr.
Yes.
to Mr. Cousineau, only if you care to share in this moment, if there are any concerns or anything. Not pushing you to, we can follow up another time, just of something I need to know about as well before we take action.
I believe, I've been here since 2016, and I've seen, how the office works and how we've slowly expanded in some of this. I know that Commissioner Shoemaker said last time in some of his concerns, but I just don't see the need for us to personally have a secretary. I've always been able to take care of the constituents calling in and asking for help. I really don't get a lot of them, but I do get them. I had one today, and I'm in the process of handling it. But I feel that is our job to do that, and I really don't feel that we need to pay somebody to do that for us. I think it's a burden on the budget that's unnecessary. Do we have the money in the budget? Yeah, we put it in the budget, but I've had a lot of second thoughts on it, and I think it's one of a few other things that we're spending money on that we do not need to be spending the money on, and we should be spending it on something else that would be more important to the residents of Genesee County.
Mr. Chair, thank you, Mr. Kuzno. I just was curious. Thanks for sharing. Thank you.
Okay, got Commissioner Ellenberg, and I have Commissioner,
Yes, I spoke in favor of this at our committee meeting, thinking, that might be a good fit, but I'm kind of in agreement with Commissioner Kuzno. I mean, it's an extra expense, and I know down the road before we have talked about, crimping jobs and money, and we want to give raises and by putting another position in, which is really a commissioner's job to take on the responsibility of their constituents. I mean, I know people have extra jobs other than, being a commissioner, but I've been a council person and I didn't have a secretary. Basically, this person would be a secretary. So I'm basically kind of in agreement with Mr. Kuzno that this is a position that's not really needed. If you're a good commissioner, you will fit the needs of your constituents and get the help that they need and the information out to them by attending their events. I mean, I know Marty does that, I do that. There's many commissioners that go out and spread the word of what we offer. So at this time, I would be voting no on this. Thank you.
okay, Commissioner Winfrey.
Thank you. I think it's fortunate for those commissioners who don't get a lot of constituent complaints. It's certainly not the case for District 2. So I'll be voting for this. I think it's something that's needed, not only today, but, moving forward. I do support it.
Okay. Anyone else? All right. Commissioner Shoemaker.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for everyone expressing their thoughts on this. As everyone was aware with my list of questions that drug on last time, I'm obviously not in favor of this. Not because maybe it's not needed or anything else like that, but just a simple fact, there are other departments that if we're gonna hand out money, I think it'd be used more appropriately. I mean, example is we've just done away with the position at the Sheriff's Department to add another position, where if we're taking those dollars, I would feel much better with having another officer on the street or over in the jail than in our office, someone else. So for me, this is where I am with this. I understand other commissioners have more going on than, but we managed to get it done. I do have a full-time job and family and everything else like that. When my constituents call, we get them taken care of. And then between, the amount of people we have in the office compared to what we had when I came down here, which is, my opinion, almost tripled in size, we managed to get it done as a team. And I think we've been able to handle that. And so I appreciate everybody's thoughts, though, and thank you.
Okay. Is there anyone else with a question or concern?
Roll call, please. Oops. Yep. Mr. Chair.
Yes.
I was going to, so in the previous meeting that we had, I kind of just mentioned that I think, at some point we should have just a board discussion about what the makeup of the office looks like. And, hearing the sentiment of our, colleagues, I'm willing to, I make a substitute motion to just drop it from the agenda.
Or
Okay, so we have first. Yeah. Okay, we have discussions on dropping at this point. Okay,
Could I ask a question?
or just a second.
Just a quick follow-up. And the reason why I drop it from the agenda, because, I'd rather, with the discussion that's been had, once we have just a larger discussion about the office in general, which, again, that's something that I suggested in our previous meeting before this sentiment was shared, that I think at that time, it makes more sense to see, where we are at that time. So that's why I made the motion.
Commissioner Oliver?
So by dropping it from the agenda, does that mean that can be added to the agenda next month?
It could,
I mean, if it was voted down,
I can answer that.
I still have the floor.
Oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. So if it was voted down, then would it be able to be brought back right away?
We would do, bring it back for,
I don't believe our rules speak to a time limit if something is voted down. So it would revert to Robert's rules. I don't know that answer.
Off the top of my head, this board can always change its mind. It depends on how many votes it needs to change its mind, whether it needs a supermajority or just a majority. I'd have to look into that. I don't have the answer off the top of my head right now on this specific question.
Yeah,
I'm done.
okay. Commissioner Lloyd?
yeah, generally, even if we voted something down, or it, didn't have the, support, even if it's 4-4, 3-4, whatever the case may be, you can always bring a resolution back at another time. It could be 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. For me, my motion is not about when it could be brought back, more than I would feel more comfortable having a larger discussion about it. So, and so I just want to say that. That's why I made the motion to drop it off the agenda versus we voted up, voted down, some people vote yes, vote no. I'm not as much concerned about who votes what as I really want to have a discussion about the makeup of our office, how the office functions, and so on and so forth. I have a bigger concern.
I just have one
Commissioner
more. So then if you want to bring it back, then it needs to go back to committee and discussed more, because if you want discussion, it has to be done at a committee meeting, not like individually. So if, I know there's a motion on the floor to take it off, but if you wouldn't mind, I'd rather it go back to committee and discussed more.
Yeah, I mean, we could do that, but if we make a substitute motion now to send it, so let me start by saying this. I understand that any resolution that we have, unless somebody brings a resolution as an add-on, I've never done that, that all of our resolutions come through our committee structure. So I believe that that's how we should do it unless it's an emergency. In terms of making a motion to postpone it to committee, I don't know if we'll be ready to have a conversation in 2 weeks. I mean, at first meeting, of the new board and that kind of thing. If we postpone it, now it's forcing us to have that discussion at that time. I'm not I don't think we need to define the time. When we're ready to
Right.
discuss it as a group, we could do it as a workshop, which is what my suggestion would be, before we bring something back for action. So it's up to you all. I'll go either way.
Okay. Commissioner Cousineau?
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, Commissioner Lloyd, but the way I'm interpreting what you're saying is that a larger discussion could be like something in a workshop in deciding how we want to move forward with the structure, so you just want to table it, is my assumption, until then, taking it off today's agenda and then just basically start from scratch, which I don't have a problem with.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That'd be fine.
Heard motions on the floor. Commissioner Maker?
Just a procedural question. How's this, we had the motion, we had support, we had discussion.
Yeah.
So we're tabling it? Is that what we're doing? We're not, because he made another motion to withdraw it, so I'm trying to understand which one we're going.
No, there was a motion. The motion on the floor that you're debating is to drop, and that's the motion on the floor.
So when we vote, Commissioner Cousineau, the first vote is for us to.
It's on
Okay.
the dropping. Yeah, the dropping is the vote that we're on. That's, okay. Okay,
So this vote is to remove it.
yes.
Okay.
So roll call, please.
There I have, okay. So roll call.
Commissioner Lloyd,
Yes.
Commissioner Winfrey,
Yes.
Commissioner Ellenberg,
Yes.
Commissioner Avery,
Yes.
Commissioner Shoemaker,
Yes.
Commissioner Kuzno,
Yes.
and Commissioner Davis.
Yes.
Okay, motion has passed.
7-0.
Okay,
For
thank you.
clarification, couldn't the chairman of finance could have removed it from the agenda anyway?
Would have had it been done before the meeting with notice to
Okay.
everybody, yeah,
Okay.
per the rules.
All right.
Which, due to my personal schedule in life right now, I did not have the time.
Okay.
Nor the memory to do it until I started reading this agenda tonight.
Commissioner Kuzma, are there any report from your committee?
No, I think we've done enough.
Always give you the opportunity. Okay.
Thank you, but no, sir.
All right, okay. All right. Next, we're going to move on to our Government Operations Committee, where we have Del Wayhill Chairperson and Dorico Lloyd as Vice Chair.
Sure, Mr. Chair. Our first resolution is Resolution 2024-1224, approval of an agreement between Genesee County and Mount Morris Schools in amount not to exceed $140,000 to provide educational services for the court community educational programs. The term of this contract is from July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025.
Support.
Okay, the move is supported. Any questions? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Mr. Chair, Resolution 2024-1226, approval of an agreement between Genesee County and Mount Morris Schools in an amount not to exceed $100,000 to provide educational services at the Genesee County Juvenile Justice Center. The term of this contract is from July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025.
Support.
Okay, the move is supported. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Mr. Chair, Resolution 2024-1280, approval of a contract between Genesee County, Easter Seals of Michigan in an amount not to exceed $100,000 to provide intensive family support services. The term of this contract is from January 1st, 2025 through September 30th, 2025.
Support.
So move is supported. Any questions? Commissioner Shoemaker.
Mr. Chair, since they're both dealing with Easter seals, could we move Resolution 3 and 4 at the same time? Would that be okay?
Commissioner?
Perfect.
Okay. All right, so we have both.
All right.
Moved, supported? All right, any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Mr. Chair, item number 5, Resolution 2024-1314, approval of an agreement between Genesee County and Vienna Township in the amount of $1,353,421.10 to provide policing and school resource officer services. The term of this agreement is from January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025.
All right, it's been moved and supported. Any questions? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Mr. Chair, Resolution 2024-1419, approval of a request to rename Genesee County Animal Control to Genesee County Animal Control and Care.
Support.
All right, been moved and supported. Any questions? Commissioner Shoemaker.
After much debate at the last meeting, I'd left here and I started thinking about this, and I'm not opposed to changing the name, but before we do this, maybe we should take a look at what this is gonna cost us. Because signage, everything else like that, because I understand we want to do this, but there are costs to these things. You know, and in addition to that, I know we've struggled before because we've had a large surplus of animals brought in, and we've struggled, you know, to be able to feed and take care of all these animals and house them. My concern is we don't have a hard number on this and what it's actually going to cost. So I'm not saying no, but at this time, I would like to see that, a list of what's going to be changed. We're going to change the lettering on all the vehicles on top of it. There's a cost to that. Those things have gotten very expensive to do the shrink wrapping or whatever we're doing, and I don't know if any of the vehicles have that right now. But there are those costs out there. And I don't know if someone from Animal Control is here to figure if it's in their budget to change this.
Mr. Parker, yeah, Mr. Parker's here.
And I'll just say, before he comes up, or as he's coming up, I don't believe we've calculated that cost yet. So there's a number of items that would need to be changed, but we don't have a hard cost for you today.
I would like to put a substitute motion forth just to table this till we can have those numbers put forth of what the actual cost is going to be, make sure you have it in your budget to do all those things. And maybe you have. Have you already figured it in your budget what the cost is to re-letter all the vans and do all the other stuff yet?
Well, we are working on that right now.
Okay.
We tried to keep the lettering at a minimum in a lot of ways, just for the front of the building and the sign out front. We are coming into a point to where we're looking at new vehicles, so there's gonna be some changes anyways done on those vehicles, so the stickers are gonna be there no matter what, so I'm not sure that the lettering is gonna be, probably very minimal, changing the lettering on the same type of decal, since we are changing and possibly getting new vehicles for those that are to replace that. Everything else is pretty much, we would use the same paperwork and such, and that stuff can be changed over the course of time as we import new forms and such, so.
Like I said, I just like to see what those numbers are, because we do have signage in the buildings. You do have website, social media things that need to be done, and people are paid to do those. Some are internal, I don't know. And it would just make me feel more comfortable. Not that it needs to be, I don't know when we think we could get those numbers, because I'd be happy to take it up with the first of the year if we can get those numbers. I just would like to see, because it just bothered me after I left here that of all the questions I had, I didn't ask, what do we think this is really going to cost?
I'll support the motion.
Okay, and Commissioner Kuzma?
I'm all set.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, I was going to support it, but thanks, Mr. Renfrey. I agree. Looking back, as as Commissioner Shoemaker just stated, that, as finance chair, we should probably know how much this is going to cost before we make the final decision, so I'll be voting to. Thank you.
Okay, so we are
Find
moving on.
that out. As finance chair, we should know that.
So we have a move and support for a substitute motion for tabling. So any other questions, Commissioner Lloyd?
If there's no other discussion, because I'm chairing that committee now, I'll make my remarks. I'm in favor of postponing it because we've had great discussion about, changing the name and so on and so forth, although we have not acted, right, yet, but it's been great conversation. And I think the thing about it is we just want to make sure it's done right. And at the end of the last meeting we had, I raised that, we don't need to wait on signs and those kinds of things. So this allows us to make sure that we do it right. So I support it.
Okay. If no one else, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, substitute motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Parker.
And Mr. Chair, I'll also say to the department director, we'll make sure that this comes back, that this gets, resolved and closed out so we can bring it back, as quickly as we can. All right. Item number 7, Resolution 2024-1479, approval of an agreement between Genesee County and Cole Williams LLC in an amount not to exceed $55,000 to provide the Parent Network Support Series at Genesee County's Juvenile Justice Center. The term of this agreement is from January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025.
Okay, so move and supported. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Is there any report from the committee?
No report from the committee.
Thank you. Appreciate you, Commissioner Lloyd. All right, next we have our Human Services Committee. We have Charles Winfrey as chairperson and Sean Shoemaker as vice chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move Resolution 2024-1407, approval of an agreement between Genesee County and VAAA in the amount of $852,936 to provide for home-delivered meals for seniors. The term of this agreement is October 24 through September 30th, 25.
So move and supported. Any questions? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
I move Resolution 2024-1408, approval of an agreement between Genesee County and VAAA allowing for a decrease in funding as a result of grant changes.
Support.
Okay, has been moved and supported. Any questions? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
I move Resolution 2024-1430, approval of an agreement between Genesee County and Voices for Children in the amount of $29,194
to provide community consortium facilitation. Term of this agreement is January 25 through December 31st, 25.
Support.
Okay, it's been moved and supported. Any questions? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
I move Resolution 2024-1493, approval of annual funding for the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services for various local public health programs in a total amount of $427,340.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any questions? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
I move Resolution 2024-1495, approval to accept annual funding for Local Health Department Cooperative Agreement 2025 from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services in the amount of $9,247,576 for various local health programs.
Okay, it's been moved and supported. Any questions? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
I move Resolution 2024-1498, approval of an agreement between Genesee County and Mott Children's Health Center in the amount of $66,511 to provide for the kindergarten oral health assessment program.
That's number 6.
Yeah, we'll go forward with that, but then we'll go back to the.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's fine. So
The
we'll go.
cost of this agreement is fully grant funded.
Support.
Okay, been moved and supported. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
I move Resolution 2024-1496, this is item number 6, approval of a letter of agreement between Genesee County and Region 10 prepaid inpatient health plan in the amount of $34,108.42 to implement tobacco compliance services utilizing designated youth tobacco use representatives. The budget for this agreement is attached.
Support with a question.
All right, it's been moved and supported. Question?
Is the Health Department Director here tonight?
Yes.
Good evening. How many basically students or people of age that fit this criteria did we hire for that process?
Well, unfortunately, with this, we probably hired about 12. It was for 5, but they come and they quit, and then they come and they quit between a certain age range, just because they have a lot of facilities. But this particular amount will cover 5 for that period, but we keep it open because typically we have students that leave, that don't want to work and things like that, so.
The reason I bring it up, my granddaughter applied for this position, and I mean, she blew through all the training. She really enjoyed doing it, but I think she went twice the whole summer, so she kept her whole summer open for like an on-call job. So I feel we need someone in there organizing, making sure if these kids are taking off the time, not getting a summer job, that they're called in to do it.
With this particular program, we email them and ask them to come in and see if they're available each time. And most of them say, I'm not available for this date, I'm traveling, I'm this. That's why we keep several students in there. So we have emails where we requested, people to come in, and oftentimes they decline. So we keep several.
Well, I do know the one time, I think it's a good program. We worked hard to get, Tobacco 21 on here. And, there was a lot of basically things that it helped. I know she came home and told us the stories. I mean, they did 12, markets in one day. And I mean, she worked like 10 hours that day because she was the only one that basically picked up her phone. And, but it was kind of scary because they put her in her own district. And I think you need to be aware of that and kind of watch out for these young kids that are going in on this situation, because they're going in their own districts and then they go in on their own time and be targeted by someone or an owner. So I think it's a good program. I just think maybe you need someone to guide it and make sure that those people are out there working
and doing what needed to be done and not just a couple of them. I mean, I think if you hired 5 and said, this is what we're going to pay you, they'd be there. So, anyway, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Director.
Hey, I move resolution 2024-1503, I think. Approval of an agreement between Genesee County and Saginaw County Community Action Committee to establish Genesee County as the lead agent to order, warehouse, allocate, and deliver USDA foods.
Support.
Been moved and supported. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
I move resolution 2024-1521, approval of an agreement between Genesee County and Genesee Health Plan in an amount not to exceed $5 million to provide healthcare services to uninsured Genesee County residents.
Support with a question.
Yes, in support of the question, Commissioner Ellenberg.
I know this is almost a 1 mil, and so there's usually like another 5 million. How is that other 5 million going to be allocated?
So that fund does have a significant fund balance in it. We moved a couple of years ago to a reimbursement base with GHP, and then we've also been using some of that to pay for inmates in the jail's healthcare coverage, and we've also been using some of that for programming at the health department as well.
Okay. So does it cover any of the health care at the jail?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Anyone else? All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Is there any report from the committee?
Well, I just want to use this time to give my bon voyage to Deb Cherry. She's been a blessing to me, especially when it comes to serving as a mediator with all of the land banks and tax foreclosure issues that I have to deal with. So Debbie, we're going to miss you, and I thank you personally for all your help.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner. All right. Next, we'll move on to our Public Works Committee. We have Ellen Ellenberg as chairperson and Michelle Davis as vice chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to move Resolution 2024-1387, approval of a grant awarded to the Greater Flint Health Coalition in the amount of $32,650 to provide for coordination of programming and activities in the City of Flint neighborhood parks.
Good. Move and support it. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Mr. Chair, Resolution 2024-1402, approval of a request by Genesee County Drain Commissioner to abandon an easement on a county-owned property.
All right. Been moved and supported. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Move Resolution 2024-1433, approval of a purchase order to Durango and Silverton for the fiscal year 2025 in the amount not to exceed $98,633 for the construction of one set of 2 trucks of roller bearing trucks for the Huckleberry Railroad. The cost of this purchase will be paid from the following.
All right. Been moved and supported. Any questions? Commissioner Winfrey?
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All right. Commissioner Shoemaker?
I would just like to thank the Parks Director. I asked for some information on the railroad as far as ROI, and he not only got ahead at this meeting, had it well prepared, so I appreciate that. So thank you.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner. All right. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Move Resolution 2024-1435, approval of a purchase order to various vendors for the fiscal year ending 2025 in the amount not to exceed $90,000 to provide for the purchase of miscellaneous aggregate for the Genesee County Parks and Recreation Commission.
Mr. Chairman, without objection, could we move, since they're all similar resolutions,
4 through what?
4 and 6 through 20?
Okay.
Here, support.
Okay.
You just want slide 5 in there?
Slide 5.
Is that a similar one?
You want to throw in the rest of the agenda too?
Yeah, go.
Put 5 in there too.
Go 4 through 20.
Well, we can use, I don't have a problem. with it.
Anyone object?
I don't.
No.
Okay. All right, so we have 4 through 20. Any questions? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It passed, all of them.
Move Resolution 2024-1494, approval of a grant award from the U.S. Department of Energy in the amount of $283,080 to provide for solar roofing project at Genesee County Animal Control.
Support.
All right, move supported. Any questions? Commissioner Shoemaker.
As I had stated before, I think it's wonderful we're trying to find these ways to cover things and look for different ways to fund them. But there's a cost to take care of these materials when we're done, as I'd mentioned before. I'm not opposed to what they're trying to do. I'm opposed to the fact that I think we're going to have some liability later on because there are certain things inside of these solar panels that are hazardous when they're actually put into landfill, and there's going to be additional cost. I don't think we've mentioned or figured a way to cover that. So I just wanted to mention that before you vote, just something to think about, that guess what, there's obviously always a secondary effect to everything we do, and this is one of them that I'm a little concerned with moving forward, so thank you.
Mr. Chair, it is a grant. Is there any way contingency could be set aside for disposal?
I mean, yeah, you could fund, I mean, once the project comes to you, we can set money aside for that, yes.
I mean, so it'd just be a savings for that.
We can do anything.
Commissioner Kuzma.
In listening to a number of my municipalities within my district, as they've gone through developing solar ordinances throughout their communities, frequently, I think always, and even maybe with the state's new law that went into effect, overseeing a lot of the fields that are being developed, that they usually require a bond. That so there's money set aside for that potential when they reach their useful life. So maybe we need to take a look at that, and in thinking about it, it might be a good idea to table this at this point in time until we have the attorney or somebody look into the fact that maybe we could have a bond taken out to cover that disposal into the future.
Mr. Chair, I would just say this isn't approving the project, this is just accepting the grant funding. The project is going to be more than this $283,000 that you will ultimately have to vote on. So tabling this doesn't, we should still accept the money, and then we can decide if you want to do something different with it later, then we can do something different with it later.
Okay, I'd be willing to, that's understandable, but I think moving forward, we need to look at that bonding so that money is set aside for disposal.
Okay, get that.
I've written that down and I'll make sure that that's included in any resolution to approve the project.
Okay. Any, Commissioner Lloyd.
Briefly, I want to add on that, and I think we should, develop be consistent in all of the projects that we have, like we talked about the animal control piece and various projects about what the total cost is. And that's not a knock on our office because there's so many different pieces and so many things being juggled, but it's really another thought process for the board as a whole, not just thinking about that cost, but overall. So that'd be helpful, like even in support information and such.
Commissioner Shoemaker.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chair. What I'm trying to figure out here is there's additional cost to this, but you're telling me. I'm trying to understand this grant process. I've had trouble confusing, and I'm confused about it because, one, we get them late and we don't know what's coming or when it's coming or we've got it approved or whatever else like that. And that's one of my issues with it. But my main issue with this one is aren't they pretty specific about what you can spend them on? Generally, there's certain things you can spend these grant dollars on when you receive these funds.
This is for energy efficiency, and we thought that earmarking this for a project at animal control where we're having that problem made sense.
Okay.
That we could kill two birds with one stone, right? We need to come up with a solution, whether it's this solar project or it's just putting a roof over top of it. We've got to find a solution so that the dogs in the summer can use those front pens, because right now they can't use them. So we thought that We have an opportunity through DOE to get this funding, that this would be a great project to utilize this funding towards. Ultimately, if the board decides that it wants to use this money for something else, we can use it for something else. This is just accepting that grant. You will still have to approve the project once we get to that point.
So to clarify, and thank you for that, I appreciate it. That's where I was confused. This is not a grant specific to animal control and care eventually. This is a project just for an energy savings program or reduction program. Okay, that clarifies a lot for me. So we can use it elsewhere if it's...
Ultimately, yes.
Does it have to be solar panels, or can it be...
Energy efficiency, I mean, there's probably specifics within the grant, but it's not solely solar panels, no.
Like improving insulation in your roofing or...
Possibly.
Things like that.
Yeah, I don't have the grant agreement in front of me.
Thank you. No, that cleared a lot up. Thank you.
And anyone else? Yeah. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Move Resolution 2024-1513, approval of agreement between Genesee County and Security Service USA Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $130,000 to provide unnamed security services at historic Crossroad Village. The
Okay.
term is from January 6, 2025 to January 5th, 2026.
Okay, it's been moved and supported. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Move Resolution 2024-1548, approval of a contract between Genesee County and Thomas Trucking Services in the amount not to exceed $545,000 for the purpose of demolishing the vacant building located next to the new Juvenile Justice Center.
Support.
Okay, then moved and supported. Any questions? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Is there a report from the committee?
Was this supposed to be added
We are.
from Deb Cherry?
We're going
Under
to.
new business, it'll be added.
Okay. Yeah, I would just like to say, I really enjoyed my time here. I've been here for 8 years, made a lot of friends, helped a lot of people, and, it's kind of sad times, but I am sure I will stay busy doing what I do best, is helping people. And so people have my numbers, and if my person doesn't fill those needs, they have my number. I will fill their needs. So we'll get it done, and we'll make sure that people get taken care of. Genesee County has so much to offer that every time there's a new program that I don't even know that we have, and I know of people that need it. And I know, my Flint guys, when I had Flint, I loved it because there was always a need for helping. Now my new district, Burton and Davison both are in need of things, sometimes not as much certain areas of the county, but I'm so proud of everything that we've done and all the things we've accomplished in 8 years. And everybody just needs to sit and think, wow, we have a new building, we're consolidating, we're saving money. Our sheriff department is probably top of the line. We're doing our GHOST program, our Ignite program, and we're doing what we're supposed to do. And I feel we're the top of the counties in Michigan. So anyway, thank you for letting me serve with you, and I will be watching. So thank you.
Commissioner, I want to thank you for that. We're going to do an add-on, but I want to add that you stole my thunder because I was going to say something about you.
Was added
So
on.
I'm going to, no, I was going to speak about you as well, but thank you.
Okay, you're
All
welcome.
right.
Mr. Chairman, we do have one add-on. It is from the County Treasurer, Deb Cherry. It's dealing with the property over on Ballinger Highway. You'll remember that this board approved the purchase from the treasurer of that property, and the treasurer provided funding for demolition of that property. Now that we're down the road with that a bit, the treasurer's got a proposal to sell this property to McLaren Hospital, and she's here to speak to it.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, this is we've talked about this project before. It was in court for a number of years, and we have been very anxiously waiting to be able to actually get this property and demolish all the apartment buildings on that. Part of that agreement that we worked out when we got this, is an agreement with McLaren Hospital, because they wanted the property also. And they are willing to purchase the property. That's one of the reasons why you had to buy it from the treasurer's office. It's a convoluted way, but it is the way that the state law requires property to be purchased and sold and taken care of. At any rate, you bought the property, now we can sell it to McLaren. We have the demolition done, and I have to thank, again, Derek Bradshaw for making sure that we got the property demolished in a quick time. He was very kind and understanding that I really wanted to take care of this before I left. So at any rate, McLaren is going to purchase the property for the cost of the back taxes and for half of the cost of the demolition. The other half of the cost of the demolition is going to be paid for through the delinquent revolving tax fund, which is we have a fund that helps us pay for building demolition and improvement of property. So you, as the county board, will get about $100,000 that you can use towards your general fund after the cost of this project is all taken care of, or we've gone through the whole sale. So this is the step where you can sell it to McLaren Hospital now for $247,000.
Mr. Chair, I move a resolution to approve a request to sell the property at 809 South Ballinger Highway.
Support.
Okay, so first I want a motion to add. We'll add this to the, and then we'll do that.
Okay, I move it to add it.
Okay, and,
Support.
okay, any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? All right, and now, motion passes. Okay.
Now I move to approve a request to sell the property at 809 South Ballinger Highway.
Support.
Okay, we have movement support. Any questions, discussions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you
Thank you,
very
Treasurer.
much.
Thank you for your work.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you,
All righty. And so now we'll move, I have one more that I would like to address just for, as I replied, Commissioner Ellenberg stole my thunder, but I want to pay homage and tribute to our two departing commissioners on this day. As many of you know, this evening marks the last regular meeting of two of our departing commissioners, Michelle Davis and Ellen Ellenberg. On behalf of the Board of Commissioners, I want to take this time to acknowledge their service. Michelle Davis from our 9th District. First, the board recognized Commissioner Michelle Davis for her 2 years of service as a member of the Genesee County Board of Commissioners, where she has represented the residents of the 9th District. Michelle has also been a committed member of the Genesee County Parks and Recreation Commission, where she has worked to enhance the county's incredible recreational spaces. Thank you, Michelle, for your service to this board and to the residents of Genesee County. Best of luck to you in all your future endeavors. Michelle Davis. Next, we have Ellen Ellenberg from the 3rd District. I'd like to also acknowledge the many contributions of Commissioner Ellen Ellenberg as she concludes her tenure with the Board of Commissioners. Since coming to this body in 2016, Ellen has been a strong advocate for the residents of the 3rd District and for the veterans across Genesee County. She has had numerous roles on this board during her tenure, including chair, and has been an active member of multiple boards and committees representing her constituents to the very best of her ability. As many of you know, Ellen has deep roots in this community, specifically in the city of Burton. She dedicated nearly a decade of serving its residents with the city council before her election to this board. Her extensive involvement in community service, from her role in the Burton Chamber of Commerce to her volunteer work with local nonprofit organizations, reflects the profound impact she has made beyond the official duties of her public office. Ellen has been a great friend and colleague in the present and past for members of this board. On behalf of the Genesee County Commission and the entire organization, we want to recognize Commissioner Ellen Ellenberg for her many years of service, public service here, and we know you have much more to give. Commissioner Ellenberg, thank you.
Commissioner Cousineau.
Back in 2016, many years ago, Ellen and I were first elected to serve on this board, and somehow, over the years, she got 2 more years in than I did. I don't know how that happened, but at any rate, we have seen a lot of changes, and Ellen has been there at the forefront of making positive changes for not only the residents within her district, and in particular, the city of Burton. And I think I know how the city of Burton now works, from your comments, but for Genesee County as a whole. And I have seen her volunteer to take on so many different projects and volunteer to help so many residents throughout the county. And thank you, and it's been a pleasure serving with you all these years.
Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Winfrey.
In addition to being a seatmate these last 4 years, Ellen and I have served on several different boards together. And we always make sure that we look out for each other. You know, if I'm late or not in the know about when a meeting's supposed to occur, she will call me and vice versa. Just like with Deb Cherry, I'm going to miss you terribly, Ellen. I've counted on you for so many things.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Lloyd.
There was a thought provoker that once sagaciously suggested that no matter what happens in life, there are just some things that can never be erased. And even during my time on the city council, you served at that time. I remember you coming to my first fundraiser some time ago at the White Horse. And you've done so much work, so many positive things in the community, and I just want to encourage you and say that whether you're here or serving in some other capacity in the community, the residents will always remember how you took care of your constituents. So good luck to you, blessings on your family. Tom, good to see you. I see your daughters and others, and we're rooting for you in your future.
Buzz.
I want to thank my family for being here today. I mean, it was a surprise. They like surprising me for some reason, I guess, because I don't get a lot of surprises, but they're getting really good at it. And so I'd like to thank my family, my friends that came tonight and see me through this, and I've handled it pretty well. All the friends that I've made here and all the department heads that's worked so hard to make things better, I mean, I won't forget you. And I have your numbers, so I will definitely, get a hold of you if I need you. So, anyway, thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Maker.
I would just like to tell Michelle, I wish you the best of luck on your endeavors moving forward, and hope you may look to continue somewhere else, maybe to serve, maybe in Arizona someday. For Ellen, you guys did a lot of nice things, and you started to mention something more important, her family, and she mentioned her family again. And my 6 years of knowing Ellen, I know everybody wants to talk about commission things, but I'm going to talk about something else. I've gotten to know her family and meet them, and her passion towards her not just her community, but her family is evident. And I always respect people who that's their priority, because guess what? If you can't take care of your family, you're not going to take care of anybody else. And I think that's one of her better qualities I've seen from her, is her love for her family and her grandchildren. If you want to have a conversation with Ellen that lasts a while, talk about her grandchildren, you'll be there, which is a wonderful thing. She's very proud of them, and they should know it. And I wish you the best in your future endeavors, and we'll be praying that you are involved somewhere. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Lloyd.
And finally, as we close out, Commissioner Davis, you are the picture of a resident in the community that steps up to the plate, that just wants to make a difference. And, during your time here in the meetings that we've interacted with, you've been a very calm presence, and but yet, I know you would not be here and you would not have run if your heart wasn't for your community as well. And I know for those that have been supportive of you over the years that they'll be grateful to you as well. So good luck to you and your family as well in the days, months, and years to come.
Okay. If there is no one else, I'm glad you guys said it. If we thank Ellen, we got to thank Tom. So thank you, Tom.
He's always my side.
They're a pair. And so before we adjourn, I would like to thank you, Board, for allowing me to serve as your chair for this past year. As I look to support the next chair, it's been an honor. I hope I have not disappointed you. This is a very great privilege to be in this seat, and I look forward to supporting the next person, but I want to thank you for the opportunity. Thank you. Commissioner Shoemaker.
I just wanted to say to our residents, to our employees, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone.
That's great. All right. Merry Christmas to all, and this meeting is now adjourned.